You've probably said I love you to your baby today, maybe a dozen times. It's automatic, the words fall out of you without thinking. Right before nap time, right after a diaper change, right when she smiles at you across the room. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your baby has no idea what those words mean. Not yet. Not for a long, long time. Language comprehension for abstract concepts like love doesn't come online until well past infancy, sometimes not until age 2 or 3. So if your baby isn't understanding I love you as a sentence, how does she know, in her bones, that she's loved? How does that certainty actually get built? Researchers who study infant attachment and early emotional development, people working in the tradition of attachment science that stretches back to Mary Ainsworth's foundational studies, and continuing today in labs that study parent-infant interaction, have spent decades trying to answer exactly that. And what they've found is almost the opposite of what you'd expect. Love, to a baby, isn't communicated. It's demonstrated, repeatedly, physically, through a small set of consistent, felt experiences that have nothing to do with vocabulary at all. There are pattern-specific, repeatable things that show up again and again in the research as the actual language babies understand. Not English, not any spoken language at all. A different kind of language entirely, built out of touch, timing, tone, and attention. And once you know what they are, you'll realize you might already be fluent in it, or you might be missing a couple of pieces without knowing it. Here's what it comes down to. Let's call it what researchers actually call it. Felt security. It's the cumulative, body-level sense a baby builds of I am safe, I am cared for. My needs matter, assembled not from any single grand gesture, but from small, repeated signals a baby can register long before she can register a sentence. Picture this. Your baby is in the high chair, mashing sweet potato with her fist more than eating it. You're tired. Dinner isn't cooked yet. But you glance over, catch her eye, and your face does something involuntary. It softens. Maybe you laugh a little. She catches that. She doesn't know the word delight, but she feels the shift in your energy, and something in her settles a notch. That's the whole transaction. For seconds, maybe less. It happens so fast you'd never think to count it as anything at all. Multiply that by the dozens of unremarkable moments in an average day, being picked up promptly when she cries, having her babbling responded to instead of ignored, being held skin to skin, hearing your voice slow down and warm up when you talk to her specifically, and you start to see what's actually being built. Researchers studying early bonding have found something worth repeating out loud. It's not the big, planned moments, the professional photo shoots, the elaborate first birthday parties that build a baby's sense of being loved. It's the small, boring, repeated ones. The response to the cry, the way you say her name when you walk in the door. And here's the part that should be a relief, not a pressure. This pattern holds up across every kind of family. Researchers have studied single parents, dual-income households, grandparents as primary caregivers, families with far more or far less money than average. What matters isn't your resources, it's your responsiveness. A baby raised on a tight budget with a consistently attentive caregiver builds the exact same felt security as a baby raised with every material advantage, and researchers have found no meaningful gap between them. Your baby isn't cataloging what you gave her. She's cataloging how consistently you showed up. In the early 1970s, researcher Mary Ainsworth ran a study that's become one of the most cited experiments in developmental psychology. It's called The Strange Situation, and the setup is deceptively simple. A mother and her 1-year-old are placed in an unfamiliar room full of toys. For a few minutes, everything is normal. The baby explores, glances back at mom now and then, uses her as what researchers call a secure base. Then a stranger enters. Then the mother quietly leaves the room. The baby is left briefly with someone she's never met. What happens next varies enormously from baby to baby, and that variation turned out to be the whole point. Some babies grew visibly distressed, searched for their mother, but were fairly easily soothed the moment she returned, quickly going back to playing. Other babies barely reacted to her leaving, seeming almost indifferent. And others became distressed and strangely stayed distressed even after their mother came back arching away from her, hard to comfort. Caught between wanting closeness and resisting it, Ainsworth realized these weren't random reactions. They were reflections of a pattern each baby had already learned, over the prior year, about what to expect when they needed comfort. The babies who were easily soothed had learned, through repetition, that reaching out worked. The distress wasn't the problem. The confidence that it would be met, that was what had been built, or hadn't, in the months before this study room. The takeaway isn't that any one rough day ruins anything. It's that patterns, repeated over time, become expectations. And expectations become identity. So here are 5 things you can start doing today that speak directly to that pattern. 1. Respond promptly to distress, even if you can't fix it instantly. Just go to her and say, "I hear you. I'm coming." 2. Get face-to-face daily, even for 2 minutes. No screen in your hand. Let her study your expressions up close. 3. Narrate affection out loud, even before she understands it. "I love spending mornings with you." 4. Use touch deliberately, a hand on her back during a fussy moment. Extra minutes of skin-to-skin after a bath. 5. Repair after rupture. If you were short with her or distracted, come back and reconnect. "I'm here now. Let's start again." There's a whole industry built around convincing you that love needs to be purchased. Bonding blankets that promise to transfer your scent, subscription boxes of attachment-building sensory toys, apps that gamify tummy time with points and badges, as if connection were something you could unlock. None of it does what your own face does when you catch her eye across the room. None of it does what "I'm here now" does, said in a voice she already recognizes as yours. That's not meant to guilt you out of ever buying a toy again. It's meant to take the pressure off. Because the thing your baby actually needs to feel loved isn't sitting in a card on your phone. It's already in you, in your voice, your hands, your habit of glancing over to check on her. You don't need a system. You need to keep doing what you're already doing, on the days you have the energy, and to forgive yourself on the days you don't. Felt security isn't built by a perfect record. It's built by a consistent one, if you've made it this far. That alone says something about the kind of parent you are, the kind who wants to understand what's actually happening inside your child's mind, not just get through the day. That instinct is worth trusting, if this kind of research-backed look at early bonding is useful to you. Subscribe for more science-backed videos on child development and early parenting. No gimmicks, just what the research actually shows. And if this one resonated, a like helps other parents find it too, because in the end, your baby isn't waiting to understand the words "I love you." She's already learned to feel it in the coming back. The reaching out, the small, ordinary moments you almost didn't think were worth counting at all.